Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Jamaica News in Review. Firefighter succumbs after being mowed down while on duty. A firefighter died after he was mowed down while responding to an incident along the Ocherous Main Road in St. Ann on Wednesday. He has been identified as 25-year-old Lorenzo Dawes. Public Relations Officer at the Fire Brigade, Emilia Ebanks, told reporters that Lorenzo was part of a team which responded to a fire in the vicinity of the Reynolds Piers around 2:30 p.m. He said when they were about to leave, a vehicle slammed into the rear of the fire truck, pinning Lorenzo between two vehicles. In expressing condolences to the family and friends of the young firefighter, Mr. Ebanks noted that the brigade has been plunged into mourning.
We responded to a call of fire in the vicinity of the pier in Ocherous. The fire was extinguished and the team was wrapping up the operation. They're actually replacing the items on the unit and shutting down the pumps and all of that to head back to base when a motorist, from the information I got, was overtaking on the hard shoulder, slammed in the back of the truck, pinning the firefighter between the motor vehicle and the fire truck. When we were able to separate both vehicles and release the firefighter, he was taken to the St. Anne's Hospital, where he was unfortunately pronounced dead. I really want to use this opportunity to, just express our condolences on behalf of the management of the Jamaica Fire Brigade to his immediate family. Of course, we are also mourning as well, and all involved. I really want to use this opportunity to just express our condolences and our deepest sympathies.
Freddie McGregor suffered stroke at home resting. Reggae singer Freddie McGregor is recuperating after suffering a stroke, reporters understand. According to reliable sources, the Big Ship singer suffered a stroke on Monday in the United States and is now at home resting. Effort to contact family members, Gino or Stephen McGregor, the singer's son, proved futile. Mark Letman, a Los Angeles-based guitarist, film and television composer, wrote on his social media pages that the singer had indeed suffered a stroke. Just to confirm that singer Freddie McGregor did have a stroke this past Monday, I would just like to confirm news from a very reliable source that he's currently doing fine, just resting up. I hope this puts everyone's mind at ease all over the world that gets posted. For the past 38 years, Mr. McGregor has been one of reggae's frontrunner. He is known for the songs including Big Ship, Push Come to Shove, Just Don't Want to Be Lonely, and I'm a Winner. Police identify men killed in Hannahtown double murder. Police have identified the two men who were shot to death by a gunman in Hannahtown, West Kingston on Tuesday morning. They are Lance Thompson, 28, otherwise called Jaja, and Bibi of an Upper Rose Lane address, and Javon Ferguson, 30, also known as Pim Pim, from Upper Oxford Street, both in Hannahtown. The men were shot to death by a gunman traveling in a motor car in their community. Police reports were that about 9:40 a.m., Thompson and Ferguson were standing along Upper Oxford Street when a Toyota Probox drove up along the roadway and stopped near where they stood. Three men, the police said, alighted from the vehicle, pulled guns and opened fire, hitting Thompson and Ferguson, both of whom ran and collapsed a short distance away. The gunmen went back into the vehicle, drove off and escaped. Both injured men were taken to the Kingston Public Hospital, where they were pronounced dead upon arrival. Police recovered more than 20 spent casings of 9mm cartridges at the murder scene. Man gunned down in Mandeville. Police are probing the murder of a man on Kendall Road in Mandeville on Monday night. He has been identified as 34-year-old Jermaine Ford, a resident of Hatfield District in Manchester. Reports are that about 7 p.m., residents heard loud explosions. The police were called to Kendall Road, where Ford was seen lying on the roadway in a pool of blood, suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. A motive has not been established for the incident. Manchester woman's throat/spouse in custody. A woman has been hospitalized and her spouse taken into police custody after he allegedly slashed her throat during a domestic dispute in Downs near to Manchester St. Elizabeth border on Tuesday morning. Residents told reporters that about 7 a.m., the woman was getting her daughter ready for school when an argument developed with the child's father. He reportedly accused the woman of being unfaithful. The couple reportedly fought in front of the child, and the man allegedly used a knife to inflict wounds to the woman's throat. Him run out of the house and go hide in a bush. The woman run out of the house and hold her throat Anna tries to help, and the baby started crying and could come down, a resident said. The woman was rushed to hospital where she has since been admitted. A police source confirmed that the man was subsequently arrested. American real estate investor shot dead in St. Anne. The police in St. Anne are probing the killing of a United States citizen who was shot dead by a gunman in Shaw Park, Ottawa, in the parish on Monday evening. The man, identified as Philip Bradley Crane, a 53-year-old real estate investor, was from Garland, Texas, but was vacating at a residence he owned in Shaw Park. It was reported that about 4:30 p.m., Crane was at the residence when two men armed with handguns entered the home and demanded money. Police said the gunmen's demands were not met, and they opened fire on the now deceased, killing him on the spot. Crane's wife, their son, and another person at the house were not hurt by the gunmen. The police said Crane entered the island on November 13, 2022. Malahoo Fort accused PNP of emboldening criminals by not supporting SOE extension. Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malahoo Fort has accused opposition People's National Party PNP of emboldening criminals. Her comment follows the lack of support from the opposition for the extension of the states of emergency, which were declared in several police divisions on November 15. The measures expired on Tuesday. In voting against the extension, the opposition cited human rights breaches. Speaking during a visit with members of the security forces stationed at the SOE checkpoint in Kingston Eastern Division on Monday, Mrs. Malahoo Fort accused the PNP of strengthening criminals. She said the opposition's view of policing and several other key issues are outdated.
I couldn't help but think that the Bunting Golding-led PNP opposition have emboldened criminals to the point where they know their rights more than their wrongs. We are lawmakers first as members of parliament, and we've been trying to get a common view across the aisles on matters that our view of the Constitution tells us can be done. And we made a proposal in keeping with express provisions of the Constitution. Section 14, 1F, 1 and 2. That deals with arrest and detention in respect of persons who are suspected of committing crimes, and also the preventive detention side, where it's reasonably necessary to detain or arrest for the purpose of preventing crime. The view that the opposition has about the state of affairs in Jamaica is outdated. The views about policing in Jamaica is outdated. And every time I hear an allegation of human rights abuse, the allegation is actually being levied at the security forces who are executing on the ground. And it is wrong, because the police have come a long way in their training and in discharging their duties. And the people are depending on the JCF and the JDF to continue to protect them. And I want to join Prime Minister in assuring you that the government that he leads will do all it can to make Jamaicans safe.
Tony sings popcorn to praise. Former Miss World Tony Singh is beaming with pride at today's release of Next to Me, a collaboration with dancehall heavyweight Popcorn. Asked if the song is a testament to their alleged romance, the former beauty queen neither confirmed nor denied the rumors. All I'll say is there's only love between us, and a lot of it, she told reporters. Earlier this year, Singh and Popcorn sparked dating rumors after the two were reportedly to have traveled together on a private jet to Grenada. They have been spotted together several times since. Singh, the longest-serving Miss World in history, 2019 to 2021, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, said the song represents the strength of her home parish, St. Thomas. Since I was a teenager, I've been a big fan of Popcorn, and he has represented so much more to me because he comes from the same place that I come from. So many times, when I would say, oh yeah, I'm from Jamaica, and people would ask, okay, we're in Jamaica, Kingston, Montego Bay, I'll say St. Thomas, and of course, when I'm greeted with the confusion and where it is, I'll say, you know Popcorn? Yeah, where's he from? We're from the same place, and that always helped to make me feel strong and empowered and very proud of St. Thomas. People tend to give us reason to think we need to be ashamed or hide the fact that that's where we're from, she told reporters. Even in my adult life, when I was competing in Miss World, I didn't think anything of myself by saying, yes, I'm from St. Thomas, because for me, Long Popcorn had given me the strength to feel confident about the fact. So I'll always wanted to work with him. It's a great honor to work with somebody who is such a giant in the music industry and who lends so much to music itself, cause Jamaican music influences the rest of the world's music, hands down. Co-accused in Sikiana case gets bail trial date. The 47-year-old security guard charged in connection with the murder of social media influencer Anika Sikiana Thousand was given bail in the sum of $500,000 when he appeared in the St. Jean Circuit Court on Monday afternoon. He will go back to court on March 6, 2023 for trial. Ron Early B. Rose was charged with misprision of a felony. This means he is accused of knowing about the matter but failed to notify the authorities. Among the conditions of his bail, he must report to the Lucy Police Station in Hanover 3 times each week. He is also to surrender his travel documents. Rose's case is connected to that of Russian Patterson, who is charged with Thousand's murder. Patterson, who appeared in court last week Thursday, is to face the court on December 15 for a bail hearing. On October 21, Thousand's Chantilly-clad body was retrieved from the sea in Reading between St. James and Hanover. Patterson is accused of strangling her to death. Cat Core recuperating after surgery. Guitarist Stephen Cat Core, co-founder of Three World Band, is recuperating at University Hospital of the West Indies after undergoing surgery. Colin Leslie, his friend of more than 50 years, told reporters Core was taken to Andrews Memorial Hospital after excessive vomiting last Sunday. He was then transferred to UHWI where he underwent surgery. Leslie disclosed that the veteran musician will be unable to eat for several days as he recovers. But as we speak, the surgery went well and he's off the ward, said Leslie. Core 65 was one of the early members of the Inner Circle before leaving to start Three World with keyboardist Iba Cooper. The band toured the United Kingdom with Bob Marley and the Wailers in 1975. 1 year later, their self-titled album was released by Island Records. 96 Degrees in the Shade, Try Your Love, Know That We Found Love, and Sense of Purpose are some of the band's best-known songs. Core and bass guitarist Richie Daly are the survivors from Three World Classic lineup from the 1970s and 1980s. Their previous album, More Work to Be Done, was nominated for a 2020 Grammy Award in the Best Reggae Album category. Cops search for a boyfriend after woman's body found in shallow grave. Police are searching for the boyfriend of a woman whose partially decomposed body was found in a shallow grave in Mount Erie Negril, Westmoreland on Friday. The deceased has been identified as 38-year-old Karen Williams, a farmer from the community. Senior Superintendent Wayne Joseph, head of the Westmoreland Police Division, told reporters that Williams' partner is a person of interest. The police is interested in speaking with him, SSP Joseph confirmed. SSP Joseph said the boyfriend was spotted in Negril on Friday morning, however, he managed to elude the police. The macabre discovery of Williams' body on Friday morning rocked the quiet rural area of Mount Erie. A neighbor who did not want to be identified by name told reporters that the community grew suspicious when Williams had not been seen in days. An alarm was raised, he said, and a report was made to the police by her children. A search was launched on Thursday night after the police found a sheet with bloodstain in Williams' house. On Friday, around 6:30 a.m., Williams was found dead in a shallow grave by residents. Her body was naked and had what appeared to be stab wounds to the chest and side. Kevin Ennis, with whom Williams shared 3 children, is struggling to come to grips with her passing. She was a hard-working person. It is so shocking. She tried to take care of her children, a disheartened Ennis said. A taxi operator who identified himself as Brown told reporters that he told the now deceased on Sunday to be careful. As Sunday, Miss Sierra Strawberry and said, "Carry on, be careful," and she said, "You know me already, me alright," a distraught Brown said as he shook his head in disbelief. Brown said he could not look at the body when he heard the news. Opposition Senator Damian Crawford suggests that the age of consent be moved from 16 to 18 years. Opposition Senator Damian Crawford is suggesting that the age of consent be moved from 16 to 18 years. This in an effort to protect schoolgirls from underage pregnancy and other risks associated with early sexual behavior. Speaking in the Senate on December 2nd, Mr. Crawford said a USEF study revealed that 49% of girls who were out of school indicated that it was because of pregnancy.
A whopping total of 59,591 births to adolescents were recorded between 2009 and 2019. In 10 years in Jamaica, based on Statistical Institute information, 60,000 young women, girls, proper term, had a baby, not get pregnant, it not include abortion and all of that. They said gave birth. So, Mr. President, I would like to recommend that this time, knowing that we intend for a 7-year secondary school experience, that it is sensible to review the age of consent from 16 to 18. Because if we want them to be in school, then sex creates a risk.
Body with chop wounds found in Mount Salem. The Mount Salem police in St. James have commenced a probe into the chopping death of an unidentified man in the community. The deceased, who is of dark complexion, is believed to be about 32 years old. About 6:30 p.m. Friday, residents reportedly stumbled upon the lifeless body of the man lying in a pool of blood in the vicinity of the Mount Salem Open Bible Church with what appeared to be multiple chop wounds to the back and neck. He was clad in a cream shirt, sky blue jeans, and black slippers with his head wrapped with a brown and cream shirt. The scene was processed and the body removed to the morgue for a postmortem to be done. St. Catherine Police probing shooting death of unidentified man. The St. Catherine North Police have launched an investigation into the murder of an unidentified man in Beacon Hill, Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Monday. The deceased was reportedly at a business place in community when he was pounced upon and shot about 12:30 p.m. He was taken to the Spanish Town Hospital where he was pronounced dead. We are investigating the matter to identify the victim and the motive behind his murder, acting head of the St. Catherine North Police Division, Superintendent Derek Jampany, said. There are 131 reported murders in the St. Catherine North Police Division since the start of 2022. Sales representative killed in Mobile crash. A 28-year-old sales representative died from injuries sustained in a motor vehicle collision along a section of the Howard Cook Boulevard in Montego Bay, St. James on Friday evening. He has been identified as Kimberly Gordon of the Springmount community, also in St. James. Gordon was reportedly traveling in a blue 2022 Missile motorcycle along Howard Cook Boulevard, Country Road, about 4 p.m. On reaching the intersection in the vicinity of the Freeport Police Station, it is reported that Gordon was knocked from the motorcycle by the driver of a gray Toyota Axio motor car, which was going in the opposite direction. He sustained head and other injuries and was rushed to the Conner Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead. High-powered rifle seized in Kingston. The security forces seized a high-powered rifle during an operation in Kingston on Friday. As part of the Operation Relentless Anti-Crime Initiative, a team from the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch and the National Strategic Anti-Gang Unit carried out a targeted raid at a premises on Lending Drive in Kingston. During a search, an AK-47 assault rifle with no visible serial number along with an empty magazine was found on the roof of the house, hidden under a tarpaulin. BCJ says offensive Zip FM recording outside its jurisdiction. The Broadcasting Commission of Jamaica, BCJ, says its investigation into a recent controversial recording involving a Zip FM radio personality has determined that the offensive content was not broadcast on the airwaves over which it has jurisdiction. The BCJ, in a media release on Friday, announced the completion of its investigation into the incident, which a man who was charged for ordering passengers out of a taxi in downtown Kingston was presented with a gift wrap bath during an in-studio interview. The BCJ said despite not having jurisdiction, it has strongly concerned Zip FM because the recording was insensitive, shocked the public conscience, and has brought the radio service into disrepute. The widespread disapprobation was enough to send a clear signal that people are no longer making sharp distinctions between platforms, and they expect broadcasters to be consistent in their conduct and to uphold high broadcasting standards at all times, the BCJ Executive Director, Cordell Green, stated. Following backlash from the November 16 incident, Zip informed that corrective actions would be taken. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and